This week in MMA, Netflix gave us a main event that made us long for a simpler time, 2013. And when it started, it felt like Obama was in the White House, Jim Miller was just 5 years into his prime, and if you knew then what is common knowledge now, people would call you an anti-Semite. The fight answered lots of questions like, did anyone think this would be competitive? And who would you rather bang? The card did have some big moments as Mike Perry looked better than ever, and one lucky fan got to step into the ring and get knocked unconscious by Francis Ngannou. In the UFC, Doo Ho Choi went from Korean Superboy to Korean Superman, and Arnold Allen beat up Melquizael Costa so bad that he looked like he was wearing the Saw mask. I'm Cody Heck. Welcome to Cupcheck MMA. I'm Cody Heck. This is my co-host Avery Rapier and Debbie. Welcome to Cupcheck MMA, where we read jokes and answer questions submitted by our audience.
Yeah.
How was your weekend of MMA fights this weekend, Avery?
It's good, but also heartbreaking. Nate Diaz, I love Nate Diaz. I've been watching him since I was a kid. So it was a little bummer. It's always a bummer watching your heroes kind of get older in the sport. And
JDS as well.
JDS as well, yeah. Anthony, what's his name? Anthony Robles. I don't even know what his name
I can't even.
The big French guy, 6'7". It's terrifying. Just a horrible matchup.
Yeah.
For that stage.
It just shouldn't have happened. But maybe you could cheer us up with a joke.
Yeah, absolutely. Ronda Rousey scored the second fastest finish in her household. First place being her husband Travis Brown's TKO victory over his ex-wife. Brutal. People don't forget, Travis.
People don't forget. I have one. This weekend, Alice Ardeline scored the first ever capsule lock submission in the UFC. The last time we saw a submission this dynamic was when Conor McGregor's dominatrix tied a weight to his cock.
It's fun.
That is submission.
That is submission, yeah. This weekend, Nate Diaz lost to Mike Perry in the bloodiest fight since Travis Brown's TKO victory over his ex-wife.
People don't forget, Travis. Gina Carano issued a statement after her loss this weekend. If I didn't tap, she would have broken my arm. She made other obvious statements as well, like water is wet and Israel did 9/11.
That's pretty good.
I mean, yeah, that's what an armbar is.
Yeah.
If you don't tap, it breaks. You guys need to write us more jokes so we have more jokes next time. And but now we're out of them. We have questions and or talking points.
So Conor McGregor's been inactive over the past 5 years due to injury and hookers, as we all know. But Max's opponents over the last 5 years, Arnold Allen, Korean Zombie, Justin Gaethje, Ilia Topuria, Dustin Poirier, and Charles Oliveira. What the heck is Conor going to do? Like, does Conor have a shot?
Short answer, no. Not even a little bit.
Right.
It's the biggest
he's got
mismatch.
A puncher's chance, I suppose.
It's probably the biggest mismatch I've ever seen.
In the UFC in recent history, yeah.
Yeah, well, Conor was bar fighting and doing cocaine. Max was activating God mode.
Yeah.
He was looking unbeatable against the highest level guys.
Right. It's probably one of the greatest knockouts of all time against Justin Gaethje.
Yes. Yeah. That's
crazy.
Calvin Kattar, just probably the best performance of all time, or one of the best performances of all time. He was reaching levels that humans can't reach.
Right.
Well, Conor was partying
on a yacht, doing God knows what. Getting the powder up his nose.
The only guy in the top 10 at lightweight that would be worth Conor fighting and that he actually has a chance against is Michael Chandler.
I know. With Chandler fighting Roofy and Holloway fighting McGregor, why not just flip-flop?
Yes. I saw somebody post that on Instagram. It would make so much more sense because Max is an actual contender and Conor and Chandler are not, but people know him and like watching him fight. They're just and Conor was doing more cocaine than Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler was busy raising black babies.
Yes, which is pretty admirable.
Props to him. but it's more black babies than I raise. But um, yeah, it's not fighting in the cage. I'm sure he stayed in better shape, but it's at
Made
least
better
like
life choices.
it's a conversation. It's like, oh, who's gonna take this fight?
Right, and Connor. So Connor has 2 fights left in his UFC contract, right? I think do this fight with Max. If he wins against this fight with Max, they'll definitely give him a title shot because it's Connor. But if he loses, you gotta give it to Chandler. Like Chandler, win or lose. I feel like against Rufy, you gotta give McGregor that, or I'm sorry, Chandler the McGregor fight after that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I feel like, dude, he sat out some of the best years of his career, of his prime, for like this huge payday that never happened, and then he gets Rufy, which is crazy.
I mean, at least he's on the White House card. I'm sure he's happy about that.
Legendary.
But especially Michael Chandler, the All-American guy, but All-American guy who raises black babies.
Yeah, All-American.
I mean, you're probably gonna get fucked up fighting at the White House card.
Highlight. If we're being honest, know it's such a. I know it is brutal. Dude, it's so brutal. But the next question.
Yeah, where does Arnold Allen fit in the featherweight division?
I mean, dude, he's so. It's crazy because it's. You were talking about this earlier about like how it's such a stacked division. You know, it's arguably the most stacked division, and there's so 1 through 7. He's ranked 7.
Yeah.
He said. So I mean, 1 through 7, just so world class, top of the food chain. Everybody has like some of the best skills in the featherweight division, and Arnold looks like a world beater. Like he looked like a world beater last night or on Saturday. But I think him versus Diego Lopez is the fight to make after this. I think that would be such a fun fight.
I mean, I think he's right up there as much as anybody is other than Mavzar. I mean,
right.
Like, I don't think
Alderman
that there.
As well.
He looked so good on Saturday, and I don't think there's that many. There's 6 guys that can beat him. I don't think that's true. But
it's any given day. I feel like.
Yeah, but it's just so. I mean, his fight with John Silva, you know, he definitely showed he belongs there.
Sure.
He kind of like he's that good everywhere, and he's fully like settled in to number 7, which it just speaks to how packed the division is. But what's interesting is that like as stacked as it is, just with the way they've been making title fights, they probably have the most beatable champion.
Yeah, and just Father Time, with Father Time.
No knock on Volk. No, obviously, one of the best. 4 years ago, he was not even close to the most beatable champion. He was the GOAT.
Right.
But, it's just, his time is coming, and now there's more openings than 5 years ago.
Right. That's got to be a crazy feeling to know that, like when Volk loses, it's not that his skill, like, that the sport has surpassed him in a like strategic skill point. It's just his body failing him. You know, where like there's other champions where, like when George St. Pierre beat Matt Serra, that was like a passing of the torch where George was just better in every aspect of the sport. Like the sport had transcended him. Matt Hughes and Hoist Gracie, when they fought, that was like a passing of the torch, the sport evolving. And it's not so much like that the sport is passing Volk's skill level. It's just he's at that age,
And that, I mean, it's funny you bring up GSP because I think that GSP is great for the same reason Volk is great, and the same like they have the longevity over other fighters because of their style. Where like Volk, he doesn't, and GSP. Like they don't waste a movement. Everything is perfect. Like when you have fighters who rely on their skill, their athleticism, their power, and those tools that are more prone to going away.
Yes.
That's when you start to lose it. But when you're just picture perfect everywhere, and then you start to physically decline, you're still above everybody else.
Right.
I mean, it's
because you're master of strategy, implementing your strategy, like mitigating damage. So, I mean, other than like those couple big shots that Volk took from Ilya and Makhachev.
Yeah.
You know, he really hasn't taken that many
Yeah.
big shots like in his career. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe a couple against Holloway.
Also because their matchmaking has just been retarded at 145.
Yeah,
Giving
what's going on?
he fought Diego Lopez twice in the same year for no reason.
Sure.
Like he looked incredible, but
So where
like who needed to see that?
I don't know. This is another featherweight, right? Du Hoi Choi. He's featherweight, correct? Yeah, because he fought Landwehr and then he fought. Uh,
I think so. Yeah.
yeah, he's a 45er. I mean, I don't think he's top. Is he top 10? What'd you say? He's got to be top 15 at
Knocking
least.
at the door.
Knocking
I would
at the
say,
door.
yeah.
That'd be fun.
Because he has 2 big wins or 2 like good finishes.
Right.
Since he's been like his last 2.
I know he wasn't like the most active just because you were saying he had like
Korean
service,
military.
Korean military. Yeah, but I mean, if he wants to be active, but he's also 35 now, so he's got to put his foot on the gas if he wants.
He's not as sweet and supple as he once was.
Dude, he looks exactly the same. Though. It's crazy.
Asians
Asians do not crack.
Yeah, I mean, his face definitely looks like.
Does he? Okay, I'd have to go back and watch one of his first fights in the
because he looked just young and smooth.
Yeah, just a smooth Asian man.
Yeah. Okay, this is an interesting one. What do you think of Ariel Helwani's take that? What do you think of Ariel Helwani's take condemning Sean Strickland for apologizing for the trash talk? Pissed me clean off.
Yeah, I don't like Ariel Helwani. I'll say it. I mean, I don't. It's 2 guys that are super competitive in the heat of the moment. I'm sure they said some things that they meant in the moment, didn't mean in their hearts.
Yeah.
And then when they fought and beat the snot out of each other for 25 minutes, the beef got squashed and they got a lot of respect for each other because they were just in a vicious fight with each other and the words don't matter anymore.
Yeah, as it does. And it's like, I mean, Ariel spent the weeks leading up talking about how nasty Sean was being and condemning him for all the things he was saying about Muslims, and then he has a change of heart. Like, I mean, and then now he's still the bad guy. Ariel, like, he ruined the mystique. He took the mask off the whole thing. Like, now you can't buy into when fighters talk shit.
Right.
It's like, God forbid the goy have a little bit of unity.
Right, come on. Right.
It's not good for anybody if the goys get along. But honestly, like, I think Sean just says what he feels at every moment.
Yeah, very impulsive. He doesn't, think about like, ooh, should I say this? It just if it enters his mind, he'll say it.
If which just speaks to his character. If he says something he regrets, he apologizes. If he does it, like he has that characteristic where he's not above apologizing.
Right. I think like after the fight, after the tension is all over, you can kind of like the dust settles, the clouds go down, and you kind of are like, ooh, I kind of went a little nuts there. Whoopsies.
Yeah. I mean, me and you do stand-up comedy, so like our job is to say something that makes people laugh. So there's always pressure to say something wild or entertaining, whatever it is. So we've both felt that pressure and said something
completely
horrible. Yeah, and that's just this episode. Yeah. When your job is to entertain and that pressure is always on whenever the cameras are on, like it makes you say stuff that you're gonna regret.
Well,
it's better to
always been on this shit though. Like he's been manufacturing conflict between fighters for like that's his whole thing. It's like just like Diaz, Nick Diaz, like had a great interview with him probably 15 years ago, so long ago, but like where he just literally says to Ariel, he's like, man, where people like act like that, where I'm from, people like that get slapped. And I just remember it was like one of the best interviews where he's like, man, you just start shit between fighters. People, you don't do that where I'm from. And I feel like Ariel's always just, that's how he's made his money. And
cultural thing.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And how do I get my shekels without getting my hands dirty? How do I get my little shekels? Okay, love it. Talking about that a while ago with the Paramount buying the UFC, because Larry Ellison
Yeah.
is just like this crazy Zionist pig.
Yeah.
And like, let's get the toughest Muslims, the toughest Christians, and let's
Yeah.
distract them with the shiny gold belt and all these new opportunities. And I just, sometimes I'm like, dang, are we just distracted because we like all this like bloodlust? But then I'm like, yeah.
Yes, but it's awesome.
It is so sick.
It's the exhibit of how much the human soul can be pushed, and that is objectively incredible.
That's true. That's a good point. And okay, a main talking point on the MVP card was fighter pay. Did lower level fighters on the card actually make more? Well, we looked
pulled
at
up
this
these
whole thing.
numbers.
Okay, yeah.
And it was no, they did not. It was pretty similar. I mean, Junior Dos Santos, former UFC champion, I think 2-time world champion.
I think he lost. I don't think he ever reclaimed it after.
But yeah,
Kane beat him.
Former, legend. I
fought the best in the division during his prime.
Yeah, he was when I was getting into the sport, he was the man.
Right, yeah. Sponsored by Nike. He's like one of the first fighters sponsored by Nike. He had the coolest shirt ever. There's a Nike symbol and it just said Dos Santos on the top. It was fucking sick. Yeah. And but yeah, I mean
he gets paid he just fed to the wolves $80K to fight that monster that I can
Robles, 6 foot dude, a gorilla of a man who Sam Alvey fought in karate combat.
Yeah, karate combat world champion. He was in the UFC for a while, but then left because he couldn't grapple. Yeah, and just crazy, dynamic, explosive striking. It was like everybody knew how 45-year-old Junior.
And he got paid $50,000. Yeah. He got paid $50,000 and
to fight a UFC world champion.
Right, and then the UFC world champion got paid $80,000. So most of the guys were getting paid $40,000. I know a couple like UFC fighters that like I've trained with over the past. As their rookie contract, like their very first contract, it's 10 and 10. So 10 to win, show up, 10 to win. Mm-hmm. And so total of 20. Which yes, 20,000, potentially $30,000 less per fight is a lot less considerably, but it's the exposure. Those fighters get way better contracts as they go on. Yeah. You get the exposure, you get the insurance, you get access to all the best, like the UFC PI, the all these training camps, like what the UFC can do for you. Yes, the first contracts aren't great, but typically you're not even entering your prime when you're getting the first contract.
Yeah, and it's like the lowest level of any entertainment or anything. What you make early on is always going to be dog shit. I mean, there's guys fighting in amateurs. There's guys fighting like low-level pros before they make it to the UFC. There's not like it's once you make it to the UFC, you've just made it and you're good. It's you still have to keep going up. So it's just part of the stepping stone process where you're like, okay, this is a jump up. I get 10 and 10. But I need to be able to make more to really
I know guys that are contenders, but they're not top 5 or anything, and top 10, and they make 100 because they paid their dues. So if you win, you bare minimum you get 100K. I know she's spazzing. She's a wow lady. But 100K to show up, 100K to win. So you can potentially walk away with 200K. Only what was it? Diaz, Nagano, Perry, like only the top guys made more than 100K. Felipe Lins, the guy who got shadow round by Francis, he got paid 100K. And it's 100K in California. We were looking up this earlier. 100K in California. California is going to take $35,000 and send it to Israel, or 35% of it, and then send that to Israel because they they're
then the coaches,
the coaches, coaches, sponsors.
So it's like what he's making to fight Francis Ngannou, UFC heavyweight champion,
probably walking away with 40K.
Yeah, it's just like it was all bullshit. It was all a bullshit narrative. The UFC, I've said this a lot. I don't want to sound like I'm just sucking their cock because I want fighters to make what they deserve. But like they get to set the standard because they're the only company that has done this for 30 years and
Right.
continued to make a profit.
Right.
Everyone else went under.
Yeah, I feel the same way. The UFC is just so efficient in what they do, and I really hope the MVP is successful in their own way.
Yeah.
Uh, and same with PFL. I love what PFL is doing. I think it gives other fighters a great opportunity because the UFC can't sign everybody.
Right.
So like, where are these other guys supposed to go that are pretty good? And like Johnny Evelyn, I mean, he could be in a top UFC contender. There's good guys in other organizations. But so you do need to have these other spots.
Yeah, you need the competition for sure. And you also need the people who are going to fight the UFC about fighter pay and like the Mark Hunts and the people who've made you need all these moving pieces. Yeah,
I mean, Francis did create. I mean, I know Dana probably hates him or dislikes him severely, but he did put his foot down and be like, "No, I am worth this much," and you got to respect that to an extent. I think there's some things he was being difficult about, but he did show like you can be successful in other sports too. Like if you want to go get your money in boxing, he did that as well.
Beat up Tyson.
Beat up Tyson, and then got KO'd by it. But I mean, dude, he made so much money in those fights. Oh, yeah. It's like, dude, worth it. Yeah, I'd fight Francis for that much money.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Would you do it for 50K?
Hell what did that go? Absolutely.
80? What was it?
It was 100K, but it was 100K. So before taxes. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
That's years off your fucking life.
I know.
That leads us right into our next question, which is MVP a potential competitor with the UFC?
Yeah, what is a competitor though? I think the UFC will be the standard of like elite skill and the best of the best. But like, yeah, Netflix is a huge platform, so maybe ratings wise, we could get a couple freak shows. Yeah. I do love a good freak show. I love what Pride used to do with those crazy, wild matchups. That would be fun to have, like a league like that.
600-pound man versus 7 women, something like that.
Let's get some crazy Russian shit going on. Yeah, and like maybe some knights in armor fighting in a cage. I'll do that. Yeah. But like we could have the freak show, and it could be a fun. It could be like college football. College football isn't as a high level as the NFL, but it still brings in crazy ratings. Some people prefer watching college football to the NFL because the games are more exciting from like a casual viewpoint because it's not as technical of a game. Like so, there's way more throwing passes, quarterback sneaks, like stuff like that, rushing and passing. And so like it makes for a different type of game, but it's still a fun game. It's just it's not the elite of the elite. I think the UFC will always be that, as it should, as the NBA. But like, where do you go? Where do NBA players go when they can't make it in the NBA anymore? They go to Europe. And they have all these crazy European leagues, and so I think like this is MVP could potentially be that, where these guys go a little past their prime, but they still have a crazy name. They can still make crazy money, and they should make money if that's what they want to do.
Not as much as we all thought.
No, and that was like the most annoying part I think about it was like that was what they were running on the entire time. Is like, we're paying these guys so much, and then they show the payouts.
Like, as far as a competitor, sure, it's a competitor on the night. The UFC, they didn't have the strongest card. The Netflix had the biggest fight in all of MMA history, according to them.
Sure.
So like that night, it's like, okay, a lot of people watched Netflix instead of Arnold Allen, but it's everything the UFC does is like leading to the next thing. It's a league. It's like there's
it's never
they're playing. There's never. They're always setting up their next shot. And MVP and Bellator at one point, they still relied on fighters to make their name in the UFC before they went and paid them the big money.
That's a good point.
So it was like, yeah, but they're not. I mean, there's probably some that. I mean, there's definitely some Bellator stars that they brought up, but none in MVP is the first one in history. So
Sure.
it's like, yeah, you're letting all these guys pay their dues for what you call scraps in the UFC, and then you can pay them more now because they're not useful to the UFC anymore. It's
Right,
just like
right.
it just felt like weird shots to take
It was
when.
weird also like how uh kind of lack for a better term is how gay everything
Oh my
was.
god,
like
the
just Mauro Ranallo, and I love Mauro, dude. I've been watching Mauro, the commentator Mauro Ranallo,
yeah
since like Pride, since I was
yeah
a child, and but they're just them being like, look at this art of how it just passes so effortlessly, and I
yeah
felt like they were trying to make it into like it almost felt like a nature documentary,
yeah like
but with MMA
they're
commentary.
creating beauty with their punches. It was just so faggy.
Yeah, it's so
It's
funny.
faggy is the only word that I can really say
Yeah,
to really put a finger. It's like the the commentary was faggy. The lead up was faggy. When it cuts to Jake Paul and he kisses the nearest hot chick, that was faggy.
yeah,
Nobody needed to see that. Jake
that's
Paul
gross.
also called out everybody who won that night, including Ronda Rousey. Some of the commentary, it felt like they typed into Chat GBT, what encapsulates humans about MMA, and it was just like weird
Right.
lines. I'm like, this is just odd.
It was it was nice to see Tyrone Woodley back commentating. I will
Yeah.
say that. That's one other thing I think is a good thing about MVP is it can give even people who don't want to fight necessarily and compete. It can give them a platform to make some money.
Yeah.
Like with Ronda Rousey, the CEO of MVP, forget his name. Uh, but he was saying, whatever she wants to do with us, like she's got a home here,
Hmm.
and that's great. Like if she
Yeah.
wants to just be a brand ambassador, she can promote the hell out of a fight. I paid attention not because of Roundup, but because Nate was on the card and
Hmm.
Francis. But I'll watch. I'll watch. I just don't like watching women fight.
Hey, Joanna is one of my favorite
Yeah,
fighters of all
Joanna
time.
Rose.
It's terrifying.
Dude, Joanna was so scared.
Just
She'd
yeah,
do this during the face-off, dude, looking like a fucking
and
psycho.
yeah,
The
and she's
Boogie
like,
Woman.
and she's like a 115-pound chick, so she's not knocking them unconscious.
Just
She's
beating their
just
brains out.
battering them
I know.
for fucking 20 minutes.
People's faces would just change. I
Yeah,
remember when she fought Carla Esparza,
yeah,
and it was, dude, watching chick. I don't. Okay, I love the skill that they have, but just some. I don't like watching women get the shit kicked out of them. Like from a skill point, like a
yeah.
tactician point. If it's a close fight, I like watching.
Dude,
I
I
like watching that.
loved it.
Do you really? It's just
Seeing
like hard to watch.
Joanna,
I mean, I liked it from a skill
seeing
point.
the damage she would do to those
It's
bitches,
crazy.
dude. Oh my god,
I
it was
know.
incredible. It was so fun to watch.
It's so
It was
scary.
because it like they knew it's obviously it's scary to fight somebody who is like probably gonna knock you out or like is known for knocking people out. But
Right.
for somebody to batter you into exhaustion, into your till you turn your face into mashed potatoes, like
Right. Right.
it's just it's a different level of scary
I
to
think so
when you
too.
face, and to see her just systematically solve every problem that fighter possesses and just tear the woman's face apart was
Slowly,
so fun to
round
watch.
after round.
I mean, that's just what makes the sport so incredible. Is
Yeah,
that is the risk.
I
Like they're
know.
going in and they could end up looking like Junior Dos Santos after he fought Cain Velasquez for
Bro,
45 minutes.
you know how Trump and Dana are buddies? For when you're in the military and you go to war, like you're deployed, you
Yeah.
get this thing called hazard pay, and
Okay.
it's tax exempt. You don't
Yeah.
pay taxes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like old Donnie T should do that same thing with these UFC fighters. Give them hazard pay. So
Yeah.
if you get 100K, you get 100K. You don't get taxed on it. You don't get any of it. Like that's what you're getting.
Yeah.
And I
At
know
least for
Dana.
bonuses or something.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like Dana is notorious for giving people behind the scene
Yeah.
deals. Like if you put on a good fight, he'll come in there with a check. Like I've
Yeah.
heard so many stories of different fighters
Yeah.
where he'll come in and that's not tax, like
Yeah.
but that's like Dana for what 30 years, 20 years he's been a part of the UFC.
Yeah.
But 30 some years that the UFC's been around, I feel like I don't know. Dana just knows there's nobody besides. What is the UFC gonna do after Dana? You know what I mean? Like because he is just such a perfect person
Yeah.
for the sport that helps keep everything running.
Yeah.
That I can't even see how an organization can be successful without Dana White. It's
Mm-hmm.
crazy, you know.
Yeah. That's they're gonna. It's big shoes to fill for
Yeah,
sure
for sure.
because nobody else has been able to do it.
Do you think that's why he made the deal with Paramount so he could become buddies with the Zionist Larry Ellison, and then they could give him the adrenochrome so he could just live forever and just keep making fucking farts?
That I mean, if there's ever a use for adrenochrome.
Well, what else is going on in the UFC world?
I don't know. We're out of questions.
Not a question.
Oh, actually, there was one more that that was on. There was two.
Oh, yeah.
What's
yeah.
next for Nate Diaz?
Man, I mean, it is. Mike Perry is a dog. So Colby retired. I could see Colby and Nate. That'd be a cardio. That'd be a fun one. I wouldn't be as worried about Nate taking damage in that fight, just getting outworked. He might get outworked, but that's a low risk fight for Nate. Something like that. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I can see him going into grappling.
Grappling would be fun. You could do that.
That'd be cool. He just doesn't need to get punched in the head anymore.
I know. It was hard to watch, dude.
Yeah.
I love Nate. I've been watching him since I was a kid, and just watching. It was like when you watched Nick versus Robbie Lawler in the rematch when Nick came back. It was hard to watch because you could tell. I think Nate wanted to be there more than Nick did that night. But just how he was reacting to when he got hit, it was different. He didn't used to react that way when he got hit, and I think that's usually the telltale sign to kind of hang it up. Like he's turning, facing away. Like sure, he's kind of threatening with the
weird kick. Grab the fence.
Yeah, and he did that same thing with Tony Ferguson in that fight. He did it because Tony kicked his leg a few times and Nate did not like it and played it off like he's tough as hell. He's a gamer, but dude, it's just like one of those things. Father time catches up with you,
and when you have that many wars, that you just leave a little bit of toughness in there every time.
Yeah, and I mean now, like because of his scar tissue, he can't take a shot without having his vision obstructed. Yeah, like that's like it's a huge safety thing. Is like one cut, it's a fucking faucet coming out of your face, and it's just like there's no leak.
Also, sorry, they said that was like a cut stoppage. I mean, that was a fucking TKO.
No, he took a flying knee right at the end of the round.
That was like he was getting battered. Like if his corner would have let him go out, that would have been criminal. Like, it wasn't just a cut. Like Masvidal, when he fought Masvidal, that was a cut stoppage.
That was yes.
This was like he got fucked up.
And it wasn't looking like it was gonna change anytime soon. Because like usually Diaz when he takes an ass kicking in the beginning of the fight, he's more defensively responsible typically, but then their opponents start to fade, and he starts to ramp it up, and like Diaz, that's the Diaz brother way back in like their prime, and it didn't look like his gear was even getting going.
That's the thing. It didn't feel like Junior Dos Santos versus
Robele.
Yeah, I have to point at him.
Robele.
Yeah. Just because like they were at similar points in their career. You know, they both have been there, done that. Fair. Like they're a little older. They've been around the scene for years and years. So it wasn't like, oh, that shouldn't happen. It was like that should happen, and then we saw it like, oh man, Nate just doesn't look the same anymore. Give him Gina Carano next.
Where do we go?
Well, I think that's that's all we got this week.
All right.
Thank you for tuning in, and write us some questions and jokes.
Mazel tov.